I would like to put myself forward for the position of Chief of Police. I will apologize in advance. I'm not very well. You can probably hear in the tone of my voice. So if I'm pausing for a few moments because I'm trying to not break your eardrums at the same time. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been speaking to individual officers within the department just to find out where their heads are at with things, what things need to be changed or adjusted to try and strengthen the department that we already have, but also push us forward into a better functioning department. So the opinions that I'm going to go through are not just my own, but the other opinions of other officers that I've stepped forward with and had conversations with.
I broke myself.
And try to start implementing things in the background while the chief who's running of the department. For the ideas that I have to bring forward, general training and FTO is something that needs to be adjusted within the department itself.
You sound so
Currently,
sad.
we have an FTO team which is separate to the training teams. You snoring right now? I will kick your ass out
damn
that door.
it, Dennis.
I apologize.
Anyway. The FTO is in the general training side of things. FTOs are currently a dumping ground for cadets only. They don't really get involved in any other training activities unless they're certed in some way or a specialist within the divisions. What I'd like to do is to bring both teams together to make them work more effectively as a department or a division within the department itself. So that then we don't have just people being dumped with cadets and then other people do other tasks. I think it should be all under one compass as opposed to separate. It'll improve the way that we train people. Instead of us bringing a cadet in, running through an academy, and then kicking them out into the street with an officer, there'll be more chance for them to be able to progress themselves further by having driver experience and all the other experiences that we offer our officers. I think as a department, we need to focus on looking at those officers that are putting in a lot of work. I think we're very, very slow at reviewing our officers' performance in order to push them forward for things like senior officer or NCO positions. We have a bunch of officers that are currently still staffed at officer that should potentially have already be moved up to senior officer. That do quite a lot of heavy lifting on the streets as far as field leadership is concerned, but it falls by the wayside. I think the reason why this happens is because we have a lot of individuals that look at people and go, I like this person, so I'm going to put them in a position where they can grow, as opposed to reviewing what that person does, how they interact with our other officers, how they interact with the public, and how they bring LSPD forward to the forefront of the spotlight. I think we need to look at reviewing those individuals and putting them into better positions where they can promote that atmosphere of solidarity amongst the division, amongst the department. As part of me going for the chief position, I'd like to improve the identity of the department.
Titanic, what's up, dude?
Whole. My idea for doing this is that I want to move focus away from, hey, I can drive and hey, I can shoot, to, hey, I can drive, shoot, but I can also have a conversation with someone. We have a lot of cops on our payroll that are here for one thing or one thing only, is what it feels like. And I feel like we could better promote our officers, linking them with others that have that communication skill, right? Being able to speak to individuals on the street, get more information from them, and help expand our investigative side of things, and help expand on our community outreach as a department. That would tie into another focus which I want to push forward, which is to create more of a family atmosphere within the department itself. I want to put a stop to what we often see within departments as being a infight, circle jerks where people sit in a corner and argue about stuff that's happened to them. I feel like we should be looking at those individuals and trying to understand why they're having those disagreements or those, like that infighting atmosphere, to try and resolve those differences by putting them in positions where they can deal with those situations as opposed to just continuing to feed into the madness of disagreeing with each other. I think we also need to look at that as being part of the identity side of things within the department. Obviously, the Rangers have their Ranger game to be sort of their brilliant community outreach. I want to encompass those two things within the LSPD as well, to help officers grow and understand and grow. To provide a better quality of service to our citizens within the state. One of my ideas with regards to that was, for example, the Rangers run their games. I'd like to bring forth a team from LSPD that can take part in those games. There will be a rotating team of officers. So not the same faces every time, but every officer gets to take part in it. and they can represent the LSPD as opposed to going there to work under the Rangers who are leading that team. Try and integrate us more within that department. Same for the BCSO, having officers go and take a ride up in the county with the sheriff's department, see how they interact with people, try to foster that good, high quality interaction. I think also with the current team that we have in place for the NCOs and the command staff does need to have a reshuffle. I think we have individuals within the current roster that are stagnant in their position and haven't really made a whole bunch of effort towards improving that position or improving the people that are around them. I think the reshuffle would need to take place to put people in a position that are currently overworked as a result of picking up the slack of those and put them into a better, on a better level to establish those changes that are needed. Like, for example, we have sergeants that are pulling the weight of officers, as in lieutenants and captains, having them in a position where they can influence and empower others would be a better position for the department as a whole. The EU shift doesn't really have this issue because they're well set out in their leadership. But I think the EU and the NA shift have that issue because we have a lack of numbers in those positions. More often than not, I'm on duty from 2 p.m. EST through till 9 p.m. EST, depending on the day. I am the only command member on duty for LSPD. That is at least 85 to 90% of the time that I'm on duty. So I'll be the highest.
Can I stop you there?
Go for it.
In the past, we've always had issues with people. We noticed that these ranks are unfilled, but we don't have any good options for them. Would you currently see people that are currently active that are filling those roles that are available right now?
Yes. We have officers that are currently undertaking the tasks of higher positions that they're not currently afforded. For example,
who's doing that? Just throw names out.
Black is a good example of it. Black is currently a corporal. Obviously, I appreciate the situation that put him in that position. However, he still undertakes the responsibilities of a lieutenant in some cases when he's dealing with disciplinary actions, when he's dealing with field leadership. You have individuals like Harmony Meadows, another perfect example. She's a sergeant. She's undertaking the tasks of a lieutenant. She's actually helping out quite a fair bit in those responsibilities for the EUNA shift. You have Mac Regan, currently a corporal, undertaking the taskings of a sergeant. He has the ability to put warrants out for the DAB unit. He's actually running the entirety of the DAB unit as a corporal. But I feel he'd be better suited as a sergeant because he's in the position that we put him in order to expand that team and that unit. Iris is another good example as well. Currently undertaking a massive amount of responsibility as a HR representative, while also still being field leadership for officers, and she's stuck in a sergeant position. Well, in theory, I feel she should be in a command position. Those are just the name of future.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I want to pick your brain.
All right, I have a couple of things I picked up on because I've been at this a long time.
Yes, sir.
I always draw a fine line between the people who are constructively looking to make a change and then the people who are going, I'm doing all this, why not me? And something you said rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm going to give you the time to clarify it. And I look for these types of markers and people looking for command positions all the time and leadership positions. You said Black is a corporal and he is doing lieutenant duties most of the time. What lieutenant duties? First of all, I would like to know what the fuck Black is doing that you think he deserves lieutenant. And Black's in here with you, so I think Black probably feels the same way.
Yeah.
Is that right, Black? And I've had an issue with this exact problem with Black in the past. So let's unpack this, because I think you might have sunk a lot of your hopes, Davies. So that's not something that can't get resolved. I don't know that y'all should be in leadership.
So for me personally, as I'm the only person that's on duty through those hours, I lean quite a lot on the NCO Corps in order to assist me with my day-to-day activities. Alongside dealing with the court side of things and everything else that I'm dealing with at the moment, I do lean heavily on them. Some of those
I mean, I picked up on it too. Like, he only ever said to give them a promotion based on the work they were doing.
In this case.
But it's not just down to the work. It's down to if that person would actually be good for that position in the long run. It doesn't matter the work you do. That's only a part of it. Do they have the mentality? Are they bought into the vision that we have for command, for PD?
The distribution
are they bought into the SOPs? Are they working for a positive change and a shift and dynamic in the PD? There's so many more things than someone just doing work.
Okay. Black.
Sure.
What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
Why are we on this again?
I don't know. I didn't do anything.
This feels like I have deja vu, Black.
What do you mean? I literally did nothing.
This isn't on Black, so this is.
Oh, well, you said it was. You said
opinion.
you said. I said, does Black agree with your take on this? Then you said yes, Black.
Listen, here's the thing, right? I don't know why I'm on any of this stuff. I'm just here to listen. That's all. I have never said anything about where I'm at or where I need to be. I'm just happy to be here, y'all.
Okay, well,
Completing the truth, sir. He had no idea I was going to bring him up in conversation.
Well, it was more his answer to my question because I said,
okay.
"Are you in on this?" And he said, yes.
No, that's not what I thought you meant. No, I apologize. No, I had no idea about any of this. I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm just listening.
So I want to be back to the days of when we were doing this when you were still getting your legs under you. That was a rough time.
That was
What are you talking about? Someone else selling for him?
So
yes.
Yeah, not.
Oh no, that's not the case, sir, at all.
Okay,
just me being Black.
Good.
And,
because that was
it sounded a little bit too.
I think Black got thrown into the command corps because people thought he was capable and they rushed him into it and they set him up to fail. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, I got thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, I think you did too, and no one listened to me. So I just want to point that out.
Can I chime in on a question real quick, just to get his understanding here? What do you believe are the qualities for a member in command?
I think you should be approachable to your officers. I feel like you shouldn't be the first point of contact for them. However, you should be the ultimate point of contact for them. One of the things I express on a day-to-day basis is that anyone can approach me with any issues they may have. I may delegate it to someone else to deal with the issue, but ultimately I'm approachable for everyone. I think also you need to have a strong sense of, I'm going to use a Zoomer term here, but that Boomer term, even though we're everyone, we're Gen Z. I think you have a sense of aura, right? In the sense of where I go is where I need people to follow. I need people to understand that the decisions that I make are the decisions I make to empower and better others around. I don't think you should be unapproachable. I don't think you should be uncontactable. I think you should be someone that people can depend on. That goes the same for above as it does below. It's the reason why I make myself open and available to everyone. DC Mac can probably attest to that, given how much workload I'm taking on for the lower stuff.
Davies, how are you going to bring excitement to the LSPD? Because you are tightly wound. And I do worry that with a leader like you, while you may be able to tighten the ship, and you are definitely top A to a degree, I would say that the biggest worry I have with you is how are you going to rifle morale? How are you going to raise morale through the PD? Because I do worry about that. I don't see you as a motivational type of guy.
I will agree with you. It's 100% a fact that everyone needs to take into consideration, whether you're a chief or not. Ultimately, we need to look at the morale of the department as a whole to make sure everyone's pushing forward to the right direction. The main things that I had in mind were things like Officer of the Week or Officer of the Month, for example, is the recognition side of it. There's officers an opportunity to progress themselves forward throughout the week, knowing that at the end of the week on a Friday, if we have a shift change, someone's going to be named the Officer of that week, or the Officer of the Month, or the bi-weekly, whichever end up being. I think we use praise quite a lot, which is a fantastic tool. However, we're very reluctant to go into public praise. We should be praising our officers publicly. Hey, you guys did a really good job on this. Well done. This is what we're going to do going forward. The learning curves of it need to be there, but also the praise needs to be there for it. I want to encourage a fun or a happy atmosphere on patrol. During those EU shift hours where there's not a lot going on, there is always a lot of conversation that happens in the background, and I want to encourage that across our offices. Communicate with each other, have fun, joking around wherever it might be, for them switched on when it comes to it and when we need to come to it. I want to encourage creativity within the department. Big thing that we move forward towards, as everyone knows, is how we deal with punishments on scenes, how we deal with punishments in general. I don't think it needs to be tied in just to punishment. It needs to be tied into praise. It needs to be tied into morale. Encourage that atmosphere of happiness around us all. Want to plan on doing special events for LSPD? not going to take into the light of the Ranger games as such, but I want there to be something that PD can look forward to on a monthly basis as well. Commendations are amazing. They're a brilliant little tool that we have as well also, but again, public praises, public commendations, things like that.
Okay.
We host, sorry, excuse me, apologies for coughing. We host regular check-ins with officers from an NCO call. I think that needs to be from top to bottom, though. Command also need to be doing their regular check-ins with officers throughout the NCO call, and vice versa. Having individuals whose responsibilities are to do check-ins and do temperature checks would also be a good idea. Having a team of people that can, not a team of people as such, but a couple of officers dedicated across shifts, that would also help build up the morale, get a real,
Hey, Lance, you're on speaker. You're on speaker in the middle of this interview. You still like to call in the middle of everything, so I figured might as well just barge it on everybody.
Tell Lane
Mr.
to be a
Caboon
good.
was just captured off a shootout, and there's a warrant of Alvarez arrest on the shit that happened with you.
Oh, on Chiliad?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Barry was
God.
asking about it, so I told him to ask you. I'm letting you know that he's in custody.
100% I do. I got it.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, man. All right, thank you. I
Shit.
love Kip.
It's fucking, he's looking at some hefty time.
They got my boss. I can't believe this. He's my boss at Wu Chang Records.
Oh,
He's the owner.
Oh, okay.
this feels like a conflict, but it's okay.
It's like, but what you do in your own time is up to you. So
He
at the
shot
end of
me.
the day-
Yeah, I feel like lots of conflicts are happening.
He did
right
what?
now.
He shot me.
Oh, I think you might have just broken that conflict up, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Listen, I get where you're coming from, Davies. Let's put it this way. Process, program-wise, all of these things, you're doing great. Right? You're saying the right things. However, none of the things you just said are how you're going to bring the fucking energy to the force. How are you going to get people riled up in the field? How are you going to get people riled up to come in the door? Because you can highlight praises, you can do all those things. Those are great. Those should be done. But that is not going to get people to want to join the LSPD and to want to come through that fucking door. How are you going to do that? How are you going to make the LSPD be appealing to people over the Rangers and the BCSO? Because that's the thing we are missing and have been missing with the LSPD. I have not heard that yet.
That'd be definitely something I need to go and think about. Establish a plan. The things that jump to mind immediately is doing things like recruitment drives.
Okay.
Having those moments where people can be approachable, whether you be a seasoned officer or a new recruit. Having those on hand to be able to have at those recruitment drives, right? You come to it, the job fair, wherever it might be. You speak to a member of command and we'll give you a run through, or you speak to a member of the NCO team or a new cadet that's just gone through the academy, to kind of get a sense of direction of what the LSPD are doing. I would, again, have to wait to unpack it a bit more, of course, but offhand, that would be one of the first ideas I would come forward with.
Okay. Well, in fairness, I did tell you all to unpack that before you come to this meeting, but I will hold you to that. And please come back to me with that. Either of you have another question for Davies?
Who would be your assistant chief?
I think we need coverage across all shifts. It would be someone from the AU shift specifically, because I'm more of an EUNA. I believe Captain Carr, who does a fantastic job within that shift. I think Harmony Rangers would be able to step up and take up his position, but Captain Carr would probably be the first person I'd look at.
Captain who?
Tama.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Tama.
He's
I
recently
mean, I
returned
like
from
Tama.
life.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tama. Don't get me wrong. It's just the big problems we have is LSPD. What we need the anvil in the evening as well, right? And I don't know that Tama brings the anvil in the evening. He brings it to the next storm. But, okay. That's good to know. Thank you, Davies. I appreciate it. I think you bring a lot to the force. So please don't take any of my criticism that way. I'm just looking and making sure that whoever I put in this position is going to be able to match Leann and Bustin's, at least, energy to be able to bring people to the LSPD. And that's why I'm asking those questions.
So at the end of the day, criticism leads to growth. And growth means that we'll progress in the right direction. I appreciate all your time. Thank you very much for listening to my points. And if there's any follow-up
appreciate you
questions
too,
you
David.
guys have, by all means, just ask anytime.
Of course.
I appreciate you too, Davey.
No worries, sir. I'll leave you guys to it.
Yeah, feel free to
Go
send
in.
on the rest of them.
Oh, you got more come through? Oh, perfect. Actually, yeah, if you don't mind.